know what I see here? I see every single house wasting money. Why? Because there's a brand new stimulus program offered by Power Home Solar.
It often said that salespeople largely avoid propaganda and using disinformation. But in the vast majority of cases, we are working on real intelligence. So real intelligence is much more powerful because when the
Surreal
terrorists
intelligence.
check out their own sources, it has to be credible. They have to be able to stand it up. If they can show it's false, then of course it's a waste of time and it doesn't do anything. So most of the material that we use, most effective stuff, was genuine intelligence and had to be credible. Not just from the journalist point of view, but it had to also be credible from
The energy phenomena registered above the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun request a different definition of the pyramids instead of the conventional, dogmatic explanations. The pyramids are energy amplifiers which have been sending and receiving information. The discovery of the Tesla scalar waves above the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, traveling faster than the speed of light, empowers the concept of the existence of the cosmic internet, providing almost instant intergalactic communication in the universe. Dr. Sam Osmanikic's recent arguments that the pyramids were constructed all over the world and that the oldest ones are also most superior have led to the situations in which Egyptologists built up the hostility wall in his direction in previous 2 decades. His assertion that the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is the oldest in the world has provoked the reaction of the world's most influential Egyptologist, Dr. Zani Hawaz, and banning the Bosnian Pyramid project for many years, the access to the leading scientific TV channels in the world. The evidence of the oldest concrete of the best quality in the world, which has been discovered on the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, and the existence of the largest network of prehistorical tunnels have caused the written petition of the European Archaeological Association.
October 2nd, 2021. As you're looking at the solar wind speed, it also has your density in the orange at the top, temperature in green at the bottom. The purple line is our solar wind speed, and we saw a 3-day rise come through here. Basically 2 days of increased wind speed because of the CMEs. Now, as they dropped off yesterday evening or last night, both in the purple line and green line, the orange line, which is the density of the solar particles, it's energized particles in there and measured in centimeters cubed. But right here, we saw a sudden rise in density. And at that point, that density passed the satellites. This is on Discover satellite. It's out about an hour or so ahead of Earth. We saw the sudden rise in density. We saw a 7.1 quake.
Hey guys, check this out.
Check
If
this
you
out.
own a home, you have one of these.
Anyway. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And that was just a little bit of my stream. What kind of, when I get to the internet, that kind of stuff is there. So yesterday I was at one of my company spots. This is another company spot, but there are underlying sounds, air handler, which is a good thing because it's sucking up air, and so it's got a good flow of air away from me, and that's like one of the safer things for you in a public space. But that little alarm telling someone to do something, and they're ignoring it, it's kind of annoying. And someone showing something right next to it, and like they have to, I'm a good 40, 60 feet away from that alarm. They're right next to it, and it's like, anyway, this is a level of unconsciousness, right? And I'm here. Let's see, it's 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the show, and I was going to show some photographs, but I forgot them, so next time. But we're doing a series called The Old Crone, what she said. And in 1969, in the first show, I described how I got there and how I met the crone and how she took me up to her farm. Right? The next show is a more description of the day-to-day of what we did at the farm. And then the next was a more discussion of there was this waterfall, right? And it was fed into this, it looked like a big pond to me, but she called it a big, the lake of the link, right? She said that all life was linked to that lake. And the waterfall actually kind of split off. The major part went into that lake, and the other part went into another little pond where then that fed another pond that there were fish being farmed, and then it kind of went off into a concrete swimming pool, and that's where we swam. And that it was really quite interesting because when you were in that concrete swimming pool, it was salt water, and so where the water fed from that water, the smaller waterfall, into the two ponds, and then into the and the pond that had the fish kind of went into a wetlands that then went down into the gardens, and that's what kind of nourished the fish poop and everything from that pond, and then into the wetlands, and then into the farm. We had no sprinklers or anything, but that was the irrigation, and also, what was, nutrition for the plants. We had a big garden. And, it wasn't fenced in. It didn't, no pesticides, no herbicides, no, GMOs. And this is 1969. Anyway, so, but behind that small, where the two waterfalls split, you could walk between them, and then behind them, it was all misty. It was like the mist of time. And the hill that went up to the top of the waterfall was a path that you could go. And there were places you could go off of that path. And it was like a dimensional time tunnel, right? And by the second week I was there, we took our first journey, meaning, we got into our regiment of work in the morning, study in the afternoon, having a nice listening to music or dancing or taking walks under the stars or going into the deep woods where we practiced going into consciousness, right? And we're going to do that right now. So everyone who's there, go into conscious state by taking a big breath in, and then as you breathe out, you say, conscious intent I am. Conscious intent I am. Conscious intent I am. Oh. Then you say, bless me indeed, enlarge my territory. Put your hands upon my shoulders and keep me from evil, so I will do no harm. So then you say, conscious awareness I am. Conscious awareness I am. Conscious awareness I am. Oh. And when you are consciously aware, you have a 360, you know what's going on all around you. And right here, why I like this place is that there's a wall behind me, a wall on that side, a wall on that side. It's just one way in, one way out. It's a long hallway, and I can see pretty much what's going on in the rest of that store. Right? So, I have conscious awareness, right? But if you are consciously in state, consciously intent, what's that? You have this intent for, what you want in your life. You are the decider. And that's one of the things that the old crone brought to my attention, is that why we are, she said, we are on this earth, not to be merchants, right? not to, um, believe in any belief structure like a religion or dogma, because that's incarceration of your spirit and your soul. And your soul is just, in the alchemical sense. First of all, you are not your bag of water. This ain't you. You aren't up here. Up here is a a metal trap Rolodex for the wacko squirrel in your head. And that's the thing that thinks all the bad thoughts, which then brings bad, you know, you, out of your mouth, you know, and then brings bad actions and bad outcomes. Whereas if you have good thoughts that bring good words out of your mouth, that bring good actions, and then good outcomes, that's when you have conscious intent. You're consciously saying, what you really feel in your heart, from your heart up through all your chakras, the top of your king chakra up here. This is the golden thread that goes up to your Akashic record, and that's your soul. The Akashic record is like the server, and your spirit is truly what you are, because your spirit is your incandescent connectivity to love's co-creation. That's when you are a co-creator, and that's what we're put here to do, is to co-create. We're on a planet of superabundance. You look at all the other planets in our solar system. Now, from our point of view, you wouldn't want to live on Venus or Jupiter or even Mars. Or any of the other moons or planets. They're either too hot or too cold. Too radioactive, too this, too that. Earth is like the Goldilocks, plus it is full of abundance. And we are, quickly killing off everything, plants and animals. Where I live, out there in the deep green, I've lived there now 20 years. Now, I haven't lived there 24/7, 365. Now, the last 3 years I have. When John threw me out of the school the last time, after 32 times, I said, well, and he was begging me, oh, please come back, and I would realize that, no, I'm just enabling his bad, all the, bad actions, right? And that's why he doesn't have his family with him, He blames other people, but he never really looks at himself. And that's why I stayed with John for about 2 years, because inside, John is a good person down deep, and he's sweet, he's kind, he's very talented, and he could